Hey, hey, hey! Welcome to episode 70 of the Angel Channel, the Angel Alchemy. Kind of appropriate for tonight, man. Is kind of the come full circle on our live energy practice throughout this. We're up to 70, Angel 70, and there's 72 in the Shimha system. So we're about to complete our original mission. And I just thought it was super appropriate to end that up. You know, we've been sneaking in stuff all the whole deck with energy gathering and all those crazy little exercises were all part of the four little lessons that you need to have and the tools you need to have to really begin a serious practice. So we're going to talk about those in a few minutes. Want to say hey to Natalie, Arnie, what's up? Spectra, Inga, how are you? Tammy Joe, glad to have you. This is going to be a fun night. I am super jacked, man. We're going to be doing some telekinetic stuff. I'm going to show you guys how to spin the little antenna rod and why that's worth doing. And so, I wanted to make sure I could get there. So I've been kind of overwired here a little bit. Before we get cranking into that business, what's up, Mr. Zen? Mr. Zen, we meet again. Before we get cranking into that, I wanted to, first of all, we are definitely brought to air by our proud sponsor, the creative geniuses over at Fried Okra, man. Many thanks, as always. Super appreciate your support. Okay, so let's get this one up. My friend Raphael shared this thing with me about these crazy glasses. Like, what is this? Okay, so anywhere, these crazy blue glasses. Can you guys see that? Yeah, all right. And they're called dicyanin, yes, dicyanin, which is a chemical that is used in the process of making photographic emulsions on papers and films and stuff. Anyway, I had not heard of these, but supposedly by wearing these, even if you can't see auras, you can see the first band, a little bit of the second band, and I was like, wow, I'd never heard of that. And I checked with my teacher the other day, and he said, yeah, that he'd known about them. These have been around for a while. This guy who was a photographic chemist and expert developed these. And so I went trying to find them. These are not, currently unavailable. That's pretty much what I found anywhere. So if any of you guys get jazzed up about looking for these, I've been saying it correctly all day. Dicyanin glasses made with dicyanin dye. If any of you guys get sparky and run across a pair, please send me some information on that, and I'll give you a further update when I get my hands on some, and we'll see what's up. And supposedly, if you can see auras, it really super jacks you up. So awesome. Okay, let's see. I don't think I have any other stuff too, so we're just going to get started. And I'm going to go ahead and make creative, sacred space right now. The light of the source, banish and clean this space and make this place pure. With the brilliant, radiant light of the source, I banish and clean this space and make this place pure. Ooh, juicy tonight. With the light of the source, I banish and clean this space and make this place pure. With joy and gratitude, we come together to create our circle in sacred space, a place of sanctuary and safety, bathed in truth, knowledge, and the perfect true light. We ask that the angels be with us this evening, share their truth, their knowledge, and their love of the source. We ask that we have ears to hear, eyes to see, and the wisdom to understand. And with absolute gratitude for all of it, every bit, infinite, unconditional love, and our wish for bliss to the source, we open our circle. So we focus a lot on our intuitive, clairvoyant, receptive abilities like intuition and astral seeing and being able to see auras. And that's way cool. But for a balanced magical being that has all the parts of you lit up, just like your left hand is the way that energy flows in through the physical, your physical body, and it circulates through and flows out, projected out through your right hand. So like if you just have your intuitive abilities, but you have no access or ability to use your inner fire, then it's a little bit out of balance, and you're not being the biggest self that you possibly could be. So my journey on this whole telekinetic thing started back like in 1988. I was a young buck in my 20s working in an ad agency. The creative director had a creative meeting, called everybody in, and this woman shows up. That was some reverend somebody, which I almost bolted because I wasn't into getting any religion. I just wanted to create. So anyway, she went into this whole spiel about energy and how you can use energy, and like opening me up to things I had considered just abstractly, but like, wow, man, this is a whole system. And I had just really been getting into crystals really hard. And some of my first divination systems, I just got my first set of runes, and I was really open. And I was kind of sitting near her. We had a long conference room table, and there was a metal ashtray in the middle of the conference room table. And I had been asking a bunch of questions, and the more I talked to her, the more like psyched I was getting. So like at the end of the thing, she gave me this really wry smile. She reached out with her right hand and pulled that down ashtray all the way to right in front of her, which happened to be right in front of my face. And my concept of what was impossible sort of shattered. And she went on about, she was traveling the world and stuff. So that was just a really like, eye opener, man. Like somebody poked a hole in the box and all of a sudden the sunshine was like coming in. So that was my first, like, I got to learn how to do this. So 20 years go by, I've had my different ranks and I've gotten involved in different currents of stuff, Golden Dawn stuff, the African stuff. And, but no matter what I was doing, the call, like inside to activate that part of me just was relentless. And I went in search of a teacher and I found somebody. There's not that many people out there that actually have those abilities and have those abilities that are willing to teach somebody. So I latched on and I tried to get to this guy for like, I think it was like 7 years before I finally got to connect with him. And that's a whole nother story. It was in the hospital. I was very, very sick. He like made a deal with me, or we'd get well and everything be cool. He'd teach me my first effect. And that's exactly what happened. And like once that window of impossibility shattered, that's all she wrote. So I haven't relented in 18 years, and I'm still pushing the envelope and finding things that amaze me and have the ability to go explore the universe in ways I never, ever would have thought about. And so I sort of, after a bit and after I really kind of perfected my skills, I kind of got to be the train the prospective prospects to learn the 4 little basic tools that you need in your toolbox to be able to really conduct a useful and productive practice. Like without any of these pieces, not really much point in going on to new levels after that. So anyway, so they consist of 4 different things, all of which I've been doing with you guys from beginning. Like the first one is actually getting access and control over your own personal energy. And that's the whole thing about gathering energy into the solar plexus, moving around your body and blasting it out. And we've been doing those exercises every single week. The next thing is really getting to, one, see your aura, and then to understand the structures and functions of your aura. It's an amazingly complex program, for lack of better words, with many bands and functions in there. And we've been doing that every week, like pushing our energy out there, brightening that up, looking for our colors, and cleansing and being aware of that part of us, which is really more of us than our actual physical body. And it's the part of us that's eternal and goes on, man. This little sack here, such a drop in the bucket. So then just actually a few weeks ago, we had, there was just a lot of craziness going on in the world. So we did the grounding. Well, we've been doing the grounding every show, and a bunch of different methods. That elemental grounding that I use through each of the bands, that's kind of the go-to when you really want to get clean. And then being able to shield and protect not only your own personal body, but your loved ones and your environment, and make that a pristine, safe, easy place to be. And then shielding, and yeah, there's another part of that I'm like totally spazzing on. So I've only done this about 7,000 times. Anyway, so after those are all somewhat projective, the grounding and shielding projective, but the last part of that is actually moving a real object with your energy. Being able to dial that down to a frequency that's dense enough to be able to move a physical object in this space. And Yeah, so we're going to undertake that tonight. I'm going to do a little spinning. I want to talk to you at length about um, why we're doing this. Like this spinning thing. Okay, let me back up. So what we're going to be doing in just a few minutes. Here, let's see. There we go. So these are the tools that you want for this. All right. I got. I had an old photo enlarger that there were a couple of these really nice lenses in, and I took that out, and it's convex, so it's got this nice rounded thing. This happens to be flat on the bottom, which is super useful. Okay, so that's what we're going to be using to balance this rod, and with our energy push that around in circles and do stuff with that. And I've actually had a couple people going, man, what do I want to spend some energy doing a trick for? Well, the truth of the matter is it's not really a trick. And there are a number of skills that being able to do that effect build up in your toolbox for use at a later date. And you'll find that as you move on to different things and new levels and get farther and farther along, that you realize you're using the skills that you'll be developing with that and the other couple of things that are in the little basics toolbox all the time. And everything, all right, so the spinning thing. On the first level, what you're learning to do is take that energy that you have, move it up your body, just like we practiced, but you're taking it with your intent, with intent programmed to move the rod, and you're pushing that rod. All right, now, when you first get going, the truth of the matter is you might push a lot of energy, but most people spray. And the energy just kind of gets diffused like a shotgun blast, right? So what you learn to do is collimate that energy and turn that energy into a little focused point of juice that now has a lot of substance to it, and that has enough torque to get the thing moving. That's always the hardest part of it, going from just setting it up to getting the initial torque once you go around. And once you get cranking around, you can get your timing down on when that happens. All right, so many things, like pretty much everything in the universe spins. So as yeah, I'm not spinning, but oh yeah, you are. If you go down to the cellular level and you go down to the particle level, every single atom is a little solar system that is just in constant motion. And being able to speed that up or slow that down, super important. And part of every effect, like from being able to dematerialize something and move it to another place, that spinning little part of it, as you ramp it up and you make it out of phase and then you take it and move it somewhere. Yeah, so it's part of every single thing that you do. Now, just physically too, the act of actually spinning that builds up energy. And when you can take a rod, that's kind of this size. And by the way, this is an old boombox radio antenna. I've got a smaller one too. I like metal, and I particularly like the fact that they're antenna because they were designed to transfer information. So they work really great, and they fold up. So when you're first working on this, you want to keep everything around you just charged to the max. And I wind up, because energy comes in through your left, I wind up keeping this in my left pocket all the time. So it's just always infused with my energy. I haven't done that for some time, but the first 2 or 3 years that I was making this part of my practice, it stayed in my pocket all the time. I took my rig around with me too and set it up in lots of different places. Like there's nothing like going out into the forest or next to a waterfall and busting out some effects. Okay. All right. So you got the rod, you got the little stand, you got the lens. While we're talking about that lens thing, I just want to bring this up. I've got this lens also, which is cool, and I like it, but it's a much steeper curve. So at the beginning, you might find it a little more difficult to get the balance happening. You know, to be honest with you, the first few times I did it, just getting the damn thing balanced on there, I thought was a successful effect. Anyway, give this a try. And if you keep your eye out for something that's a little flatter like that. What's happening is that you're balancing on that and making it very unstable so that it doesn't really take much to actually move it. And yeah. So if you can just focus on it being on the lens and not focus on it falling off the lens all the time as it spins around, it's kind of a good thing. But the other thing, you can take a magnifying, like if you don't have any of those lenses, you can take a magnifying glass, take the lens out of a little thing, put it on top of a water glass, and you're good to go. Doesn't have to have water in it, but you can charge that water too. All right. So if you really want to undertake this and be successful with it, you got to kind of think of it as a big picture, because you've been trained to believe that this is impossible. And your skeptic is in there telling you can't do it. And you don't have any like pathways set up to make it happen yet. So everything's new and everything's foreign. But you have to go into it with, I'm going to do this. However, this is done. This is done, and have the discipline and the patience to wait and just keep getting better and more focused until you actually crack the glass and step through. Most amazing feeling ever in the whole world is that moment where your concept of impossibility like completely shatters. Like, dude, you just did that. You just moved something. Like, no. Yeah. Amazing. So you want to, as part of looking at it as the big picture, I didn't just sit down and like do like 10 minutes. I would like start in the morning. I'd start with foods. You want a lot of vitamin C. Like when you're doing projective work, you burn up a ton of the oxalic acid in you. You can get that from oranges and pineapples, all the citrus stuff. Super good. Monstera delicioso. If you can get your hands on that, that stuff is like nuclear. Dragon fruit is really good for me. Whole bunch of stuff. So you're going to want to have that those chemicals like really good. You want to not eat a meal like 3 or 4 hours before you go to practice. And the best time to practice is any time. But my favorite time to practice is between midnight and 3 o'clock in the morning. Man, it just drove me crazy when I first started practicing with my teacher, because like we didn't even get started until midnight. Small talk. Now it's 2, 3, 4. Sun's coming up. But there's a reason for that, and that's because every single thing that's creating energy in the world that's floating around in the astral ocean all the time. And at 3 o'clock in the morning, the majority of people are sound asleep and the world is quiet. There's no traffic jams with people like raging and spewing out energy into the collective. And it's somewhat chilled out. It's somewhat chilled out. Hey, there's my friend Raphael, man. I'd like busted you out on the glasses there, dude. I'm on a quest to find them now. So if you run across any, hit me up. Okay, foods. Oh, this one's super critical. If you want to have any success with actually giving your energy substance, don't drink any carbonated liquids. No sodas. Sodas are awful for you anyway. But no sodas, no sparkling water, champagnes, like those bubbles, all of that energy that you're gathering and learning to fill yourself up with, that carbonation, like just you might as well not even have bothered. So no carbonation. All right. All right, just a couple more things and then we'll get down to business and actually do some stuff here. This effect is like the letter A in the alphabet. And it's one piece of a network of skills that, as you get into more complex effects, you're using a mixed bag of all of those things all the time. So it's good to just take it, one step at a time, then move on to B, then move on to C. And before you know it, like you're doing some really, really fun stuff. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm sure I'm leaving a ton of stuff out for food. Spinach, like good stuff with iron in it. Nice broccoli, pumpkin seeds, roasted pumpkin seeds, amazing. Actually, the sprouted pumpkin seeds over the top, and in a lot of different ways, not just for your energy, but also for your physical health as well. Okay, so once you kind of like get that down, like you can start building up little chunks of energy. Like you want to send out a sigil, like you can charge the sigil up. Like 8 spins on that is enough juice to make something happen. So you could sit there and just use your energy and pour it in there. But you could also use the rod to do that as well. I do that to charge the cards. Like I use that for a lot of different things. And one of the cool things about all of these is the idea is not to just copy it like exactly, but to take the framework that I'm tossing out to you and then make it your own. Like there's a bunch, the rod, particularly good for me because I love metal, holds charge really good. But if you wanted to do bamboo or an oak dowel, or you could spin anything you want. A drumstick, man, I can't tell you how many drumsticks I've spun. So, think outside the square and taste it. There's a flavor to energy when you're moving it and you connect with an object, because and the whole point of keeping it in your pocket is during the day, it is your energy signature. So in reality, even though it's sitting over there on the little lens, it's still part of you. And that's what you're connecting to and sending that little laser beam of whoop and making it happen. So, you can do a lot of different things. Like I made my own little circular board for this to sit on top of that was kind of my own spinning Ouija board, and I did a lot of medium work with it, and would charge up the rod and bring a spirit and let them like talk to me with it, and super crazy. We went out to the cemetery a few times and had some really amazing experiences. You can use it for yes and no answers. There's just a million different things, and then as it get more complex, you can make vortexes coming out, cones, shapes out, like depending on whether you're going counterclockwise, you're going counterclockwise to send something, you're going clockwise to bring energy. So there we go. So we're going to do some kind of an abbreviated collection of all the little pieces of it, giving you and show you how this would work if you're actually getting ready to do a practice. So all day long, you've gathered your energy, you've been eating the right foods, you have your mind on it, you see it in your mind, it's already spinning before you ever get to where you're going. And now you've arrived at the place that you're going to do it. All right, so the very first thing to do is to do a vanishing and shield the space up, right? So I vanish and clean this space. I usually do, on the beginning of this, I do I do 3 of those, but most of the time when I'm doing a vanishing for a new space like that, I like to do all four directions, the ground and the top, and just seal it off so that there's no energy. Just like we were talking about working in the middle of the night to be free of any kind of static that's in the way of you getting there. Those little fibers that you're first throwing out, trying to connect to something. Anything can disrupt that. So the cleaner, the more pristine, the more it's just you, the better. Yeah. Hey, Tom, how are you, man? Good to see you. All right. So I vanish and clean this space. I make this place pure. I vanish and clean this space. I make this place pure. I vanish and clean this space. I make this place pure. I vanish and clean this space. I make this place pure. I vanish and clean this space. I make this place pure. I vanish and clean this space. I make this place pure. I vanish and clean this space. I make this place pure. I vanish and clean this space. I make this place pure. Vanish and clean this space. I make this place pure. Send some energy out to just kind of seal off the space. Nice and quiet. All right. Next thing is to just make sure you're pristine. You're not carrying anything that's going to get in the way, any emotional goo or disruption. So we're going to run through a little cursory. I ground any negative energy of any kind of my own construction or anyone else's in this frequency or any other. I ground any negative emotional goo of my own construction or anyone else's in this frequency or any other. Anger, fear, pain, shyness, rage. I ground any negative mental goo of my own construction or anyone else's in this frequency or any other. Circle thinking, negative thoughts of any kind. I ground any negative material blockages of my own construction or anyone else's in this frequency or any other. I ground any negative blockages relating to my home, my place of sanctuary, my finances, my job, and my physical health. All right. So this is a really important part with what we're about to do. You want to have enough juice, right? So let's reach down, center of the earth, grab up a really great batch on each inhale. Just suck up through the straws on the bottom of your feet, that crackly blue, creative juice. The best. All right, here we go. Draw. There you go. You're using your energy. All right. So now we're all charged up. We're ready to go. Give me just a second to get camera kind of rearranged. Another little light set up here. I'm going to rock. Okay. Strongly, advise not doing this near your computers. It always gives me the heebie-jeebies because when you're first learning to do stuff and you're spraying and you're not like focused on it, man, first thing it loves to hit is your electronics, man. I blew up guitar processors and a bunch of audio equipment, not to mention hard drives. So stay in another place. It's really great to have a place if you can go outside. It's just there's nothing around except you. All right. Here we go. Wow, not balanced. All right. Oh. All right. I want to rebalance. There we go. So what you're doing is reaching out and pushing, let that go, latch on the other end and give that a good pull. Nice push. And now that it's torqued up and going, you can play with it pretty good. I love latching on to the outside of it as coming around on the circle. Yeah. All right. So I don't know here. We're going to try the big 6-foot copper pipe. Let's see if that's enough space. Yeah, this might take a second, but maybe not. You come to realize that the size of it doesn't really matter that much. Like you're connected to it, like you've got the flows happening, creating this energy vortex around the whole thing. Copper's super good, holds a charge. And as a matter of fact, by the way, readings, we're going to do readings. So put your name down there. We're going to charge up the deck right now. Come on, baby. All right. I heard you. I'm not going to charge up the deck. Well, I am going to spin it another couple times just because it's fun. Yeah, love it, love it, love it. All right, there we go. Spinning the rod, 101. Whew. So that takes me to a really crazy place. All right, we'll see what's happened. All right. All right, Natalie. You're up. Let me calibrate here for a second. Just feel so much bigger than yourself, man. All right. All right. Well, look, I almost was remiss. Let's do our angel card. The angel of alchemy, JABAMIAH. Alchemy is about combining opposite things and making them into a new thing. And I just think it's so appropriate that this card, like if you look at the energy coming out of the little hands there, flowing out, that's about exactly what we just did. So it's also associated with the Nine of Cups, which is one of the best. Like that's the moment. Like everything's really emotionally great, and then just like seconds away from it being your dream place, and it's a wonderful, wonderful spot to be. So, okay. Greater awareness of the deepest truth in place of the surface truth. Understand that like spinning that rod is not just about doing a trick or like, it's about realizing who you actually are, which is an actual piece of the true light, the ultimate creator. And those times I'm doing effects are the times I feel closest to the source, man. It's like we're one, and that feeling is kind of indescribable, although I've tried many times. Greater awareness of the deepest truth in place of the surface truth. Never allow yourself to think that this is all there is. Remain loyal. Do the impossible every day. Remain loyal to your purpose, to yourself, and to others. The end of the road is just the beginning. Prepare to move on. You have the ability to integrate and balance your feelings in deep, expansive, and innovative ways. You use your skill for your own emotional happiness and well-being and that of others, and victory and liberation are assured. There's one level of it. There's like victory and liberation in the physical world, but there's also victory and liberation from the process of having to do it again and fix mistakes and like just recognize the true light. Yes. You're addicted to your emotions. They have become ends in and of themselves, goaded on by the ego. Man, I hate that space in myself. An unwelcome source of intense stimulation. Everything exaggerated for effect. You know who that is? You could be suffering for the rush itself rather than recognizing pain as the initial part of the positive lesson to be learned. A person stuck here may never get beyond the suffering. All right. We're going to get down to some readings. Except I don't think I have. No, I don't. Bear with me 1 second. Boy. All right, there we go. There we go. All right. Natalie, you're first up, girlfriend. 3 nice deep breaths. Let's get connected. I'd love to know if anybody felt any of that out there in the field. All right, here we go. Focus, Nat. Feels like there's something specific. If there is, really, 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 really focus. Words of wisdom from my friend Natalie. Words of wisdom from my friend Natalie. Words of wisdom from my friend Natalie. Get the juice. The Angel of Ritual and Magic, number 38. I said magic, it's ceremony. Things are really cooking now. Trust that you are able to make good decisions. Let go of your need for everything to be perfect all the time. Relax. Your world is moving very quickly, so do not let the pace get you down. Be deliberate in your planning with plenty of time to think before committing yourself. Be certain that you are dealing with the right people, and until they've proven themselves, don't make any big decisions. You are out of balance. You have been knocked over by the people and problems, charging your defenses. The blinders have come off so that you can see the truth and communicate. This has been an emotionally shattering experience for you. You will need a little outside help. Yeah, Two of Swords. That's a momentary truce where two combatants have come together to agree to not kill each other for the moment. All right. Let's see, Arnie. All right, focus really hard, Arnie. Words of wisdom from my friend Arnie. Words of wisdom for my friend Arnie. Words of wisdom from my friend Arnie. Number one. That's an intense card, man. The Creative Fire. An important contract, transaction, or letter is indicated. You have jumped through all the hoops. Your foundation is solid. You are ambitious and a visionary thinker, willing to take the lead, hoping to make things better. Experience the fire and creative power of your emotions. You are skilled and can manifest your ideas into reality. Face it, you're bored. Your successes have walled you in, and your world appears minuscule. You're tired and out of new ideas for what more to do with your life. Your love of the battle and challenge has left no satisfaction for your actual accomplishments after the fight has been won. You will have all the fire you need to take new paths. Here you are with the world in your hands. Use the creative fire to shape it to your passion. It's the ultimate creative potential. It's the ultimate energy of what you think, you become. And it's right there. All righty. Anyone else? Make sure I don't miss anybody here. All right. Well, crazy show. I'm still a little like honked. I hope some of that was helpful to the couple of you out there I know that are on the edge of doing that yourself. And when you accomplish it, I want to bring you on the show and have you do that with me. All right. Thanks as always. Oh, always, Raphael. There you go. Thank you for thinking of me, bro. Oh, yeah. Here we go, man. All right. Focus really nice and hard. Let's take 3 really nice, deep. Words of wisdom from my good friend Raphael. Words of wisdom from my friend Raphael. Words of wisdom from my friend Raphael. Oh, yeah. Last week's The Angel of Restitution. Your body, mind, and spirit rejoice. A sense of fulfillment and emotional satisfaction infuses your entire being. You have learned to compromise, to release your worry and problems by concentrating on simple, ordinary pleasures. Isn't that just the joy? Manifest your abilities in tangible ways. Yeah, maybe you're here for a reason tonight, man. Create your own glorious reality with the gift of your superlative creative imagination. You have conquered all the terrors on your path home. Your wish can now come true. Enjoy. Bask in the deep and quiet inner contentment that comes with attaining your goals. There is voluminous joy. Your future is assured and material gains are now possible. You will experience good health and a profound sense of well-being. Life will be easier as your worries disappear and new jewels materialize. You have come and gone from you come and go from your unconscious with ease. You can now visualize what you desire with such detail and clarity that it comes into being. You have the resources and the knowledge to nurture others along the same path you have traveled. For now, you recognize that nothing serves you better than a simple good time. Let your contribution fulfill you and feel the spirit of life as you create with your talents and manifest your magic. Yeah, this is a good one. Yeah, this is a real good one. There we go. All right. Well, I guess our little journey for the evening has come to a close. As always, hit the like, subscribe, give me a comment down below, hashtag live. Any share, anything you can do to help me, like spread the word, super appreciated. And you guys out there getting ready to spin, man, let me know as soon as possible. And no questions? Nobody has any questions? No questions, huh? Okay. I want to know when you succeed and share in that with you. And so that's a little completed. Now the little toolbox is full. Yeah, next week will be show 71 and coming to the end of our Shemha Meforish angelic journey. Thank you all for being here. I always enjoy spending time with you. I feel like we've got a little crew, man, and I really enjoy spending that time and energy with you, man. So thanks for sharing yourselves. Thanks for sharing with me. Blessings and success in all your practice endeavors. And until next week, we gratefully conclude our working and close our circle and bid everyone a happy evening on their way. We thank the angels for their truth and wisdom and their love of the true source. And until next week, we offer up our gratitude for it all, our infinite, unconditional love, and our wish for bliss to the source. And until next week,